You have clicked the Pixel Record podcast, programmed by KanOfSoda. Sit back, chillax, and enjoy the show.
Hello guys, KanOfSoda. Welcome back to a Pixel Record podcast. I'm with
Ashley, or Random Fangirl, #01.
Alright, this is amazing. So, Ashley, just to start off, how was your day so far?
It's been pretty good. As I told you, I'm gonna go visit PetSmart to see if we were gonna go get a dog today, but that's been kind of postponed.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But I might get a dog at some point, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I just realized they don't know. I know last night we were just talking, Ashley was just talking about getting pets. Could you, you don't have to tell them everything for the sake of privacy, but just tell them what we were talking about the pets thing last night.
So, basically, we have one dog at the moment, and we've kind of noticed that she's been pretty lonely recently. My mom changed her mind, I guess, about not getting any more pets, so we are looking for another dog right now, I suppose.
And you said that PetSmart doesn't really treat their pets well?
Think they do, but I'd have to put the allegedly on that.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
What makes you think so? Is it because your cat was probably abused or something?
Partially, and then I think stores in general just don't take care of pets well because don't put enough attention on them. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know how PetSmart operates.
Yeah, me neither. I've never really owned a pet. Well, I have. In 3rd grade, I went to this fall festival at my school, and there was one station where, as a prize, we won a goldfish. Even back then, I thought it was kind of odd, like, a goldfish? Okay then. So then I got the goldfish. We got, itself a tank and a bit of food and everything, but, 3 weeks in, the fish died. I think it might be the water it came in. Probably.
It might be, depending on, what kind of fish it is.
It was a goldfish. It was a goldfish.
That's probably fresh water for goldfish, then.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, fish don't live that long anyways, but, I don't know.
Yeah.
Walmart just does not take care of their fish, though.
Didn't you say that you saw dead fish sometimes?
Oh, yeah. They just float off the top of the tank, and it's honestly really gross.
Why are you laughing, then?
Because I just remember it, and it was just bad. I don't think we bought fish from Walmart at all, but maybe we did, I don't know. They have, the fish that glow, though. I don't know what those are called.
Glowfish, I think.
Probably
not. Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a different name.
If I were Ashley, I would say that's pretty wild. Okay, so, some stuff I want to talk about today. So, Wonder Woman 1984, are you excited for the movie?
Has a trailer been released?
Yeah, 2 of them, actually.
I haven't watched either of those yet. I should, though.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I feel like it's gonna be better than the first movie. The first movie, it was pretty good. I liked the No Man's Land scene where she was running across No Man's Land, but after that, it was kind of boring, but it was still pretty fun. But yeah, I guess the sequel is gonna be better, probably because the first movie was the start of her adventure in chronological order, so looks like she's gonna do a whole lot more.
Thinking is because in the first movie they have to introduce you to people before they can do actual cool plot stuff,
Yeah, that's true. We already knew. We were already introduced to the character in Batman vs Superman. We just had to give her an origin movie. I just realized that you're not that knowledgeable on the DCEU films.
I watched Wonder Woman. I don't think I watched Batman vs Superman though.
Basically in release order, it's Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, even though that's a fake. The real one's gonna come out in 2021. And then there's Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, and then Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, I watched quite a few DC movies.
Yeah,
I really liked Birds of Prey. That was a good one.
Yeah, it really was. I liked Shazam as well. That was probably one of my top favorites.
Yeah, I watched Shazam with people from my school, and it was really funny because my friend Deanna wouldn't pronounce it right, and it was just really funny.
How does she pronounce it?
I think she said Shazam.
I know on the Texas speech, for some reason they pronounce it Shazam.
I mean, I don't know about that one.
Fun fact, did you know that Shazam's original name was Captain Marvel?
Oh.
Yeah, it was created, the character was created back in like 1939. It used to be called Captain Marvel. And I think they stopped using that name on covers for decades, and then Marvel picked up the name Captain Marvel in like many decades later, just some kind of like copyright dispute against the two companies, and at the end Marvel won that name. I was kind of disappointed because, I mean, the only name he uses now is Shazam, and that's the name he uses to switch between his forms. Like, imagine he just goes up to Justice League, says, "Hi, I'm Shazam," changes back to a kid, and they're like, "What the hell? You recruited a kid?"
I feel like the only reason Marvel won the dispute is just because Marvel is in the name, like Captain Marvel.
I mean, yeah, but it's still weird.
Yeah, it is, because, I mean, I don't know, it was like, why would they take it already, like, after that? Like, I guess you said that they, like, took the name off the covers for a bit, I suppose, but then it's like, why would you want to do that? I feel like that just adds a lot of unnecessary, like illegal issues, like you mentioned.
I'm not sure if they took the name off the cover. That's just what I heard somewhere. I'll have to like research it later. I may not be 100% true.
Okay.
Do you plan to see 84?
We talked about, I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but I think I will watch it at some point because I remember liking the original movie.
So, on the day it first comes out in America, which is December 25, I actually plan to go see it in theaters. I'm hoping it's safe by then, but if it's not, then I'll probably go see it on HBO Max, and then, like, at some point we can stream it together or something, I don't know. Or maybe on the, main group chat with everyone. That'd be cool.
I suppose.
Yeah.
We watch movies through Discord, because I remember we tried one time and that just didn't work out.
I guess I was only in the private group chat. I know I tried it in the group chat. On my birthday I watched Guardians of the Galaxy with the other people on the main group chat, and it worked perfectly. The only issue was the internet cutting off, which it does sometimes.
Do they do that through shared screen though, or?
Yeah.
Oh. It's kind of weird that would work better in the group chat thing, but not in, like, normal one.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was about to say wild, but you would say, "Oh my god, shut up. You do not do that."
God. You make it more of a thing than I do.
I mean, I don't really have much predictions on what's going to happen. There's one thing I want to say that I know will happen. Do you want me to tell you? It's not,
Sure.
I know it's kind of spoilerish. Well, not really spoiler since it's already been revealed, but Steve Trevor returns.
Oh.
Yeah. He comes back from the dead. Somehow.
In the trailer, is that how it's been revealed already?
Yeah, it's already been revealed.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Do you think we should talk about the news with the Fantastic Beasts series?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm worried that the franchise is gonna flop. Considering with J.K. Rowling saying the transphobic stuff, the stuff with Ezra Miller choking a fan, the stuff with Johnny Depp getting fired and replaced by Mads Mikkelsen.
Hear about the Ezra Miller thing. What the heck was that?
I think he choked a fan in a bar, but like some people were saying that it was just him and a friend, they were doing it for fun. I'm not sure.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, that's wild. It's wild.
Oh my god.
What? Yeah, I'm pretty...
Well...
Huh?
Okay, so... We can get to the JKR topic in a moment, but we should talk about, like, how the recast has happened and what we feel about that.
Yeah, so, let's start from the beginning. So Johnny Depp, his ex-wife is Amber Heard, who played Mera in DCEU. Aquaman. So, I know in 2017, I'm sure most of you guys remember this, the news came out. We were told that Johnny Depp abused Amber, but then later on we found out it was the other way around. And there was like so much evidence that it was Amber, but even so, Warner Bros. Fired Johnny Depp, but for some reason they allowed Amber to stay. So because of this, they had to recast Grindelwald, and now he's been replaced by Mads Mikkelsen.
So that sums it up. And personally, I wouldn't have wanted Johnny Depp to be fired, but as a replacement, I think Mads Mikkelsen will do a good job.
Yeah, same here. I do miss Johnny Depp, though. He did a good job as Grindelwald, in my opinion.
Right, yeah.
And he was one of the only gothic characters in the Wizarding World franchise. The others are probably...
Snape was the OG.
Huh?
Snape was the OG, though, to be fair.
Yes, definitely. The other gothic characters are probably Credence. Yes, Credence. Bellatrix Lestrange.
100%.
I always wonder why Bellatrix wasn't in My Immortal. Probably because it was before the Order of the Phoenix movie came out, but oh well.
Was that when she was introduced in the main series?
Well, in the movie series, which was released in July 2007, and I read somewhere that My Immortal was written like early 2006 and a little bit of 2007, considering at that point the Deathly Hallows book had not come out yet, and a lot of stuff. It was I guess it was written like mainly early 2007, but I guess that's where it ended.
Oh yeah,
Tara
probably didn't read the books. Actually, I think we know she didn't read the books because she mentioned like the trailer for like Half-Blood Prince, I think.
She's probably only told about the books, considering that she already knew who Umbridge and Slughorn were. So, I mean Slughorn.
Yeah, all I'm saying is Raven probably told her some character names and maybe some like basic things, and then was like, "Write a story for me. I'll edit it."
Yeah, and Tara probably only watched the movies. Remember in her office note, she said, I'd read all the books, this is all from that movie. Which she already knew what happened in Half-Blood Prince, so Tara probably told her about that. And somehow she predicted that Harry was a Horcrux.
I've been shining through.
It's weird. Tara, out of all people, who writes a fanfic, the most infamous fanfic ever, that completely disregards the rules of the Harry Potter universe.
But she just knows things.
Yeah. Also, I do remember in that same author's note, she said, I hope Draco and Harry become a couple, or else J.K. Rowling is a homophobic. And some people in the comments were like, well, transphobic, you were kinda close.
God. What do you talk about?
I was gonna tell you about the Snyder Cut, but you're not a big DC fan.
Is it? Oh, wait. I think I've heard about that though.
Oh, really? What do you know about it?
Well, I've heard that a lot of scenes were cut from Suicide Squad, and I think you mentioned Justice League has a different.
Actually,
movie.
Justice League is for Snyder Cut. Suicide Squad is for Ayer Cut. I'm just.
Oh, God damn it.
I know. That's because, like, both movies were originally darker, but they were changed into comedies. That's why I said, you know about the Snyder Cut? Well, the same thing happened with Suicide Squad as well.
I really consider Suicide Squad a comedy, though, so I feel like their intention failed.
Yeah. I know my friend once mentioned that there are movies that are meant to be dark and not meant to be funny. Like Shazam, it has kids, it's meant to be funny, but Suicide Squad, it's dark, gritty, it has evil villains, it's not meant to be funny.
The Suicide Squad did come off a bit funny at times, because
Jared
Leto's characterization of the Joker was just probably the worst Joker.
I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was cringy at first, but now I honestly don't care. I guess every Joker is good in their own way. I guess we haven't seen his like full performance yet, a lot of his scenes were cut out from the original version.
Yeah, and I feel like it would make a difference because, like, I saw somebody notice that, like, in Birds of Prey, it's all about how Harley needed to get away from him because he was terrible. But then in the original movie, I mean, there wasn't that much of that going on. Like, it seemed pretty reciprocated, like, in any toxicity way, you know?
I know they show that in the original Suicide Squad, which will make a whole difference. It'll like, completely I know one time you said it in the one podcast, it would completely explain the breakup in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, because I think in the second movie, like, they didn't take a lot of time to explain that other than, oh, well, he's terrible. Like, what did he even, like, didn't he just break up with her and then she was mad or something?
I don't know, but anyway. I want to tell you a bit about history for Justice League, if you don't mind.
You can go for it.
Okay, so, Zack Snyder, he's a director for DCU. He created Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. They're actually really good movies, I recommend them. But, I mean, they're very different in a good way, but a lot of people hate it. Because they're different, because the Superman he makes is very different from traditional Superman. Traditional Superman is way too OP, and this one has actual flaws. So, Zack Snyder, he already made Justice League. He finished in, like, 2017, in, like, early 2017 or so. And then, like, a few months later, his daughter committed suicide, so he had to, like, step down, have a moment with his family. So, Warner Bros., the company that makes it, they use this opportunity to, like, go behind his back to recut the entire movie. They hired Joss Whedon, the director who made the first two Avengers movies, and they completely reshot most of the movie. Like, they removed a lot of scenes, they replaced a lot of it with, a lot of comedy scenes that doesn't fit the characters. Like, for example, in the first movie, Batman, he was like, to Superman, tell me, do you bleed? You know, as a mockery of him being a god. And then in the Justice League, when he got his ass kicked by Superman, he was like, oh, something is definitely bleeding. Like, I mean, he's a dark character with a tragic backstory. It's weird. They turned him into basically Tony Stark. I mean, easy answer, because they're both billionaires. I think we all know. It also really disrespected Wonder Woman. It had, like, angles up her skirt. It had, like, one scene where Flash fell on top of Wonder Woman, which Zack would never do. It's weird. Thus creating the theatrical version, which came out in 2017, which is called Justice League. It was hated so much that a lot of people lost hope for the future of DC. But now that Zack Snyder's Justice League is gonna come out, which is the Snyder Cut, it's back on the track, and it's gonna release on HBO Max in 2021. So, also, the fake Justice League is only like 2 hours long. The real Justice League is 4 hours long. Only 10% of Zack Snyder's Justice League scenes were in the theatrical version. People, people think it's the same movie. It's not. I mean, there's a huge difference. It's like so much scenes that were cut out. There are like also plenty of characters that were cut out as well. And also, one of the characters, Cyborg, in the original version, he had a whole big arc, but in the theatrical version, he didn't really have that much scenes, and most of his scenes were reshot. Like, the vast majority.
It's interesting to me, like, when you pointed out how, in the theatrical version, how they had those weird moments with Wonder Woman, it reminded me about how, like, the way Harley was treated in, like, Suicide Squad in comparison to how in Birds of Prey, and how it was just kind of less gross. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I totally understand what you mean. Like, I don't know, made me think of that, those angles up her ass, and that scene in the airport where she was putting on her shirt. You remember that?
Yeah.
while in Birds of Prey, it's not only directed by a woman, but it's also written by a woman and actually produced by the actor of Harley herself, Margot Robbie. So, because of how Harley was sexualized in Suicide Squad, they decided to really tone down on the kinds of costumes the girls wore to avoid, the male gaze. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
Exactly. Like that whole difference with the producer of Birds of Prey being like a woman instead, and how that affects how like the camera and perspective is shown. That's the kind of stuff I would write about in my English classes. Not really with film, especially, but just like even just the portrayal of women by male authors, and in this case, male producers.
I know Zack Snyder wouldn't have angles up Wonder Woman's skirt, which was in Justice League. I know this. You know how I told you about a scene where Flash fell on top of Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
I know the same thing happened in Age of Ultron, which is also directed by Joss Whedon, where Bruce Banner, who transformed to Hulk, fell on top of Black Widow at some point. And he also had shots up Black Widow's ass, which was very sexualized in his Avengers movies.
Don't see the point of all that.
Yeah, he's weird. I mean, he looks like a hot ass Cheeto, so.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's true. Have you seen a picture of him?
I don't think I have, actually.
Here, I'll show you a picture. I mean, he does look like a creep. A guy. He does fit the. He does fit the creepy pedo stereotype. Oh god, even look at him makes me puke.
So I see what you mean, huh?
Yeah, see? He does fit that weird creepy guy stereotype. And Zack Snyder, he even though he is a white, cis, straight guy, he doesn't sexualize women in his movies. He overpowers them. He doesn't make them reduced to love interests. Like, I know Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, she was traditionally mainly a love interest, but in his movies, she's a whole lot more than that. She pretty much helped Superman save Earth. But in the fake Justice League, there's one part where she was called the thirstiest young woman or something like that. I'm not joking.
Oh,
yeah. That's why people hate the theatrical version.
See why.
And a whole lot more other stuff.
I wanted to ask you about Suicide Squad, because like you mentioned, there's a different cut of it, and I was curious how much is known about that, because I heard a lot of Joker scenes in specific were cut, but was it more than that, or what kind of changes were made?
Okay, have you seen the movie?
I saw some of it.
Okay, I'll need to show you all of it though. So their characters had a lot more scenes. I know this one of the characters, Katana, she's basically a Japanese assassin. She had a whole lot more scenes as well, but in the theatrical, she really didn't have that much scenes. And I know one of the other characters, El Diablo, in the original version, he survives, but in the theatrical, he dies. Which, he had a lot of potential as well, which is disappointing.
Just a bit more character development and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And also, the director David Ayer, he also stated that the first 40 or 45 minutes of his cut were completely cut from the movie. I'm not sure how much more is cut versus what is in there. Hopefully we will see. Unfortunately, the Ayer cut movement is not as popular as Snyder. It's still kind of popular, but not extremely popular, which sucks. I know the actor who played El Diablo supports the movement, but unfortunately not. The others have not said much. I know Margot Robbie says she's curious to see it.
I'm sure Jared Leto probably wants it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's been going through it.
Yeah, definitely. Wanna know what's crazy is, okay, so when Spider-Man got removed from the MCU and people want him back, the bloggers were like, "Ooh, yay! These fans are fighting for it." Same thing with when James Gunn got fired. But then when people wanted the Snyder Cut, the bloggers were like, "This is hate. You're all this targeted harassment." It's pretty unfair because it's pretty biased. Because, you know, Marvel is owned by Disney, and Disney basically controls everything you can think of, including your private property. Hermione.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. She was scared of losing her private property.
Oh my gosh, we should tell them about the Harry Potter communist. Okay, so we're currently we're currently making this another fanfic video. Since My Immortal was pretty fun, we decided to do another fanfic video. It's called Harry Potter Becomes a Communist. It's so interesting. I haven't released it as of now. I have not even come around to editing it because I'm lazy as I usually am. But I probably will. Soon, probably.
Yeah, it's an interesting read. Hermione is scared of losing her private property, and that's something that we know. Oh, Professor Pepsi. That was a unique character to add, I feel.
Yes, definitely. I don't know anything else. I'd like to talk about more about DC, but I mean, you're not really a big fan, and I don't know what else to say about the topic.
I could actually bring something up about Harry Potter fan culture, I suppose.
Oh yeah, do that. It's wild.
So, I don't know if I've ever brought this up to you, and I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast, but what I've learned is that, like, in the 2000s era, when, like, the Harry Potter books were still coming out, like, a lot of fans were making music about Harry Potter, and, like, they'd have their bands named after, like, Harry Potter stuff, and it's just, like, a really interesting part of, like, the fan culture that I haven't really seen in any other fandom.
Oh,
have you heard any of it?
I did not know. All I know is about the crazy My Immortal fanfic. There's also this theory that Snape was a vampire.
Oh yeah, dude. Have you seen the theory that like Dumbledore was like a time traveling, or like
what?
Ron Weasley or something?
What? That's
it makes no sense, but that was like a theory I think for a while until maybe I don't know when that would have been disproved, but.
Want to hear this other fan theory I heard?
Yeah.
This is theory that Rita Skeeter is actually J.K. Rowling, but she ran away from the wizarding world and wrote about Harry Potter in our world. Did you hear about that?
I definitely see, like, Rita maybe also just being, like, a stand-in for somebody similar to her, like, you know, because the whole journalism kind of thing. So what I just linked to you is a song from one of those kind of bands that Harry Potter fans made.
The Moaning Myrtles.
Yeah, it's called And Then I Died. It's a song about how she died. It's a really good song to me, at least. But I thought it was an interesting thing to mention, because like I said, I haven't seen any other fandoms where all the fans just decided to start bands based on the fandom.
That's pretty wild. Wow, why do I keep saying that? You ruined it for me.
That's not my fault.
Oh well.
So I would say, I think theories in the Harry Potter fandom are also pretty wild. I think some of them are strange.
Can you give me other examples besides the Ron Dumbledore thing?
Well, okay, actually, there are some that, like, they call theories, but then they're not actually theories, they're just actually fact, you know? Like, I remember one that was about how, like, Harry, Snape, and Dumbledore, I think, were like the three brothers from the tale, and I think that one's just basically canon. So then
I guess
a lot of
just
Harry Potter fans.
Those are parallels. Those are more like parallels.
Yeah, but then they say it's a theory when it's more like
fact.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Trying to think of any other ones that were like ridiculous. Oh, and then people always wondered like why. Well, not why, but there was like a theory. Oh, Ariana's an obscurial.
Oh, I heard of that.
Before that was technically canon. Is that canon now? I'm pretty sure it is.
It's a theory still. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I'm really convinced that she is. I mean, considering how Aberforth described it, and exactly a whole lot like Credence's situation.
Yeah, and then I see people be like, well, why wasn't Harry an Obscurial?
I know it's explained on the Harry Potter wiki. I think it's because I think it was explained that the Dursleys were too afraid of Harry's power, or something like that.
Oh, I remember a theory. I remember there's this theory that the reason that the Dursleys were all, like, abusive and stuff was just because, like, Harry was actually an Obscurial and it, like, negatively impacted them for some reason. That's just not...
It doesn't make sense because, like, even before Harry went to live with the Dursleys, you can still see in the first chapter that Vernon was, like, still arrogant, and Petunia.
Yeah, I think people are just interested in the whole Harry could have been an Obscurial thing, so I think that could have happened. So then they're like, oh, well, maybe this impacted the Dursleys somehow, when I don't think it did.
I mean, I guess the two characters handled the situation very differently. I mean, Credence reacted with anger. I guess Harry was just very... I guess Harry just didn't get super upset all the time.
I suppose.
Yeah, I guess Obscurus just form out of anger, because, you know, it's dark. Like, the door can work. No! Not Snape's thingy.
I thought it was more because technically Harry wasn't ever told not. I mean, he kind of was told not to do magic, but, like, Credence was, like, kind of getting beat for it, you know? So, like, Harry still had those moments when he would, like, release it. Like, back in the zoo scene when he, like, gets rid of the glass and whatnot. But Credence wouldn't really have had any of those moments, and I think that's what made it develop.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I know that someone has noticed that between 1927 and 1936, which I believe is when Dumbledore met Tom Riddle, Dumbledore looks a whole lot older in 36, while in 27, Dumbledore looks way younger. And then I remember someone joked around that was probably the Blood Pact. That's probably not...
Shit.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, I think he just got stressed because...
He had a headache.
That and, like, he wasn't even done with Grindelwald by the time, like, Tom Riddle showed up at Hogwarts, so he was like, oh shit, I'm not even done with the first Dark Lord, and I can tell this one's gonna be another one.
I don't think he knew at the time.
Well, what I remember from the books is that Tom always felt like Dumbledore had it out for him. Like, I guess you could say it was a sense of paranoia, but he was, like, the only person that didn't think, like, Tom Riddle was, like, the best and shit. So, I think he just had this sense because... Do you remember that scene in the movie, like, in the orphanage, when it's just, like, them talking or some shit, and he's like, oh... I don't remember what Tom Riddle said there, but he said he
speaks to snakes and other stuff.
He said something I think was like, oh, like an O moment. I don't think it was the snake part in general, because then Dumbledore should have been like, Harry, why can you do that? But he was just, he always felt off about him, and I actually don't know. Yeah, he was sus of him. I guess, even though there wasn't enough reason yet to think that he could be a Dark Lord. Maybe he saw the potential, like he probably saw the potential in Grindelwald when they met in, like, the summer.
You know what I know would be cool? I know I said in a podcast before on my own, but it'd be cool if the end scene of the last Fantastic Beasts movie would be just Nagini now as a permanent snake slithering alone in the woods, and then she meets Tom Riddle, and then they speak parcel tongue with each other, and then they become friends. And then it ends right there.
That'd be interesting. I just wonder when that is in the timeline, because I don't remember when he actually met, or when Nagini was actually with him. Do you remember? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll explain it. I'm just worried it's gonna flop because of what's going on recently. Just all the scandals and stuff.
I felt like that there's still good hope for the series.
Yeah, honestly, same here. I mean, I'm still worried, but I'm still hoping for the best. Because, I mean, I really enjoy it, like, a lot. I enjoy the characters. And the fact it's introducing new places in the wizarding world.
Yeah, Like, for some reason, I think I heard somewhere that the third movie might be set in Rio de Janeiro, but I don't know where I heard that or why I think that.
I heard it
And
somewhere
I think
too.
I told you that too.
I heard it somewhere too.
I don't know what it is about Rio, but I actually love Rio, because you remember Rio? Have you seen it?
The movie?
Yeah, the movie.
Oh
with,
yeah,
like,
I've
the
seen.
two blue
Oh yeah,
birds.
I seen it a lot. I seen it like a long time ago.
Rio is like the best.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so if it's set in Rio de Janeiro, I think that'd be pretty sick. And I wonder what kind of different things they'd have over there in comparison, to like American Wizards
It'd be cool if they.
Wizard Society.
It'd be cool if they also expanded more on the Wizarding World franchise. I feel like there's like a whole lot more to be explored, considering how much there is, even in only 7 books and 2 spin-off movies.
Yeah, like it'd be interesting to see if there's any like cultural differences in like the eastern side of the Wizarding World.
Definitely.
And then I guess I'm not sure we'll see that much more because it's like, there's 3 more movies, and like how far away is the duel like time period?
I know the final battle takes place in 1945, and the second movie took place in 27. There could be a big time jump between the second and the third movie, or they could add more movies. You never know.
Do you think so?
I don't know. I think it might. I kind of hope so, since there's a lot to cover within those 2 decades.
I think it's just gonna be 5 though, because then there's just like a lot of problems with like if there has to be another movie.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just very curious how it's gonna take like that many more movies to get to the duel. Is it the last movie is just like getting up to the duel, then like what's in between?
Yeah, that's true. Also, Newt, Dumbledore, why can't you go up against Grindelwald? Dumbledore, because I have a headache! I love the
Very
headache.
important.
That's why Dumbledore aged a lot between within a decade, because he had a headache.
Yeah, that was the most important contribution. And then the most important from Harry becomes a communist, so far as maybe that Hermione is scared of losing her private property.
I wonder.
Or Professor Pepsi.
I always wonder how the actual Harry Potter characters would react to My Immortal, or maybe the Fantastic Beasts characters, considering that Dumbledore is in it.
Oh, there's like this kind of phenomenon, I think mostly on fanfiction.net, where they write a story where they like react to the book. Like they'll start at the beginning, and then it's always just like they'll have like Lily and James react to like the Dursley abuse, and like, oh my god, it's honestly kind of fun to read. But nobody ever finishes because they have to like steal everything from the original books and then have the reactions. Have you read any fics like that?
No, I haven't.
So they either do like a reaction to the books kind of fic, or they just do time travel.
Also, I do remember I saw some kind of picture somewhere where it was like some kind of dialogue from the book. It was like, Snape, Slughorn ejaculated, and some pointed out because in My Immortal, Snape was like, the Dark Lord shall kill you all, then you must submit to him. Snape ejaculated menacingly.
True. Because I saw that screenshot of the ejaculated thing, and it was just because I guess they weren't said anymore, and I guess the author of My Immortal didn't either. Should we discuss the political stuff?
Oh yeah, we can do that. So, as you can tell, Joe Biden won the presidency of 2020, which is really crazy. Even though I was confident that Biden would win, I was worried that he would lose, because I thought Hillary was gonna win 2016, but it turns out that Trump won.
So, Biden won. I guess Trump is not happy about this on Twitter.
Yeah, he's real. So are his followers. He's pretty much super mad that he lost. So he's trying to call it a fraud, an election fraud or something. He's basically whining and complaining about how the election was stolen, which is weird because in 2016 it's alleged that he stole the election with help from Russia.
Yeah, it's funny because then him and his supporters got on Hillary for not taking the loss well, but he's not taking it well now either.
Yeah, I guess he's just mad that he lost.
I suppose.
Yeah, and I don't know rules to her, but I know he's been trying to go to Supreme Courts and go to governments of states to try and flip the election to make him one in the blue states where he lost. But they've all rejected his request. And even if they recounted, it still shows that Biden wins, so Trump is losing the election by a lot.
I won this election by a lot.
Nobody, Voldemort. I won the battle by a lot.
By a lot. Oh my god. I loved it when people make memes with that.
I love seeing Trump supporters cry. It's my daily medicine. I forgot what else goes after that.
I saw those too. I find it funny when the K-pop fans just post their fan cams.
I know, you know one of those Hose Mad fan cams?
Yeah.
I know some posted one for Joe Biden. I know they say don't idolize politicians, but the only politician that people are okay with idolizing is AOC. But
that's because she's appealing to millennials, which I guess is a fair point. I would too, but
yeah, she's a fan favorite. I also remember when she played Among Us with the streamers?
Yeah.
I love how people were like, OMG, she's so hot, and Corpse was using his deep voice.
Of course.
I do remember when she killed Pokimane. Pokimane was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got killed by AOC. It's an honor. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if she became president someday.
Funny if they had a political round of Among Us where it's Donald Trump is VP and then some other people who are running, and then it's Donald Trump, you are so sus right now. I saw him on Vents.
I do remember I saw this one video. It was it's the insane presidential debate where they were just, but it's in Among Us.
I saw him fake a task.
Orange is sus, vote him out. Oh yeah, speak about Among Us, it's something I actually wanted to talk about on the podcast. I've been playing it a lot since we first played together, and I've actually gotten smart at the game. When I first played, I actually did not know what to do, so even as a crewmate, I was just faking tasks, because I had no idea we were supposed to do tasks. I thought we were just supposed to go around and just try to avoid getting killed.
Tell you that?
Huh?
Did I not tell you?
What?
Did I not tell you about tasks?
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Maybe you did. Maybe you did, but I forgot. Well,
I just assumed you already knew.
No, I didn't know. I just know it's a murder mystery game. I didn't know you had to do stuff to win.
So, do you feel good now? Do you think you're good?
Yes. Even though I didn't know how to play the game properly, it was pretty fun when I was randomly blaming you.
God, it wasn't fun for me.
Oh, don't worry. It's just a game anyway. Have you ever...
Yeah.
While playing Among Us, have you ever met any players you hated and why? Have you have any, cool Among Us stories you want to talk about for a while?
I guess I kind of don't like it when people are either too salty or too confident. Because I remember one time, people just, pull shit out of their ass for why you're an imposter. And it just really sucks when they're right, but they have no proof. Because I remember one time...
Discord cheaters?
No, well, not that. It wasn't even that. I guess this guy said, based on the way I was, walking, I was an imposter.
That's... Did they...
imposter. So I was like, what?
What? Were you the imposter then?
Yeah, I was. So I was like, how am I walking weird? I was just like, okay.
Did you get voted out?
They voted me out.
That is so weird. That's weird.
I know.
I do remember, I got called out, I was the imposter, but they somehow found it was me, because, one time I was just staying still, and then right after the sabotage came on, even though I did not do any sabotaging at all. was probably my other imposter mate who got killed off at that point.
Yeah.
I do hate it when Discord cheaters help as well. Do you know about those?
Yeah, and then yeah.
Especially those who play with their siblings, and I always
play together, but we don't tell each other.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. I know I've seen plenty of videos on YouTube where people catch Discord cheaters and call them out.
I think it just puts people in an awkward position if they're like their crewmates, because if you know that they're cheating, it's like you shouldn't know that, but also you kind of do have to vote them out.
Yeah, we always vote the cheaters out. I also know one time there was this guy who the only reason why he called him merchant me was to flex on the fact that he had the money to buy some cool accessories and was calling us poor and stuff. So he was annoying. I'm not sure if we voted him out. He either got voted out or an imposter killed him off because he was annoying. I think I was the imposter then. But I'm not sure. I just know there was a guy flexing on about how much money he had, and we all got annoyed. I hate it when people call merchant beings for no reason. It's annoying.
They called an emergency meeting just so that they can all tell each other to like watch them do med bay. I was like, really?
Yeah, why can't you just wait until a dead body gets reported?
That, or like what you're normally supposed to do is just like walk near somebody who's by there and then just like kind of nudge them over by doing like a little dance or something. Like, just do that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's annoying.
For real.
Also, I'm gonna tell you this one story I have. We can tell imposter stories if you want. I mean Among Us stories in general, you know?
Yeah.
So when I was a crewmate, there was only 4 of us left. So there was this blue guy, I believe, who me and another crewmate were very sus of. But for some reason, Black, who wasn't the imposter, always defended him. Like even when me and my other crewmate tried to vote him, the Black guy didn't vote him. Later on, Blue killed Black, so me and the crewmate were very convinced it was Blue. So we both voted for him. So Blue was pretty mad that he got called out. So because the voting time was so long, he decided to just not vote and just wait for the voting time to go down. I hate it when they do that. Like, can't you just skip the vote? You already know that you lost. Just admit it. So it did turn out to be Blue and we won.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever had someone, a imposter who gets called out, who just waits for the voting time to go out?
Oh my god, yeah, that's stupid.
Do you have any other Among Us annoying stories?
I can't think of any more specifically, but it's just always sometimes when people just call you out for something that's kind of BS. And also just like they call you out, you get voted out, and you're the imposter, and then afterwards they're like, oh, I'm just so good at this game, I'm like a detective. I'm like, you didn't really have any good reasoning. It's just that in public lobbies you say somebody's sus and then you go for it.
Yeah, they just believe that person for like no reason.
Yeah, like if I say somebody vented, honestly, I could probably get anybody out with that, even if it's a lie.
Yeah, I did know one time when I was the imposter, they, even though I never vented, they said it was me because I vented, even though I never vented. Which was weird.
I think, well, so you don't always have to see, like, the animation if you know, like, for a fact that they couldn't have gotten somewhere, like, very quick. Or, like, I guess you can assume, like, let's say the kill is in electrical, and then they're, like, in med bay, because I think there's a vent from electrical to med bay.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so if they're, like, in med bay and the body was in electrical, you might be able to assume, oh, they might have done that. But, you know.
But then again, it also could not be them, because maybe someone just happened to go there just to maybe check a sample.
Exactly, but it's still, like, a good guess if you have no other leads, I suppose.
Yeah. I always, whenever the game first starts, I usually just, after I swipe the admin card, I usually go to electrical first. I just get that over with, and I do all the other tasks, just so I can avoid getting caught, because the electrical is usually the kill zone, you know?
This wasn't like it's not that bad. It's kind of fair, but I was like, oh, god damn it. So it was like a game. I was the imposter. I think it was just me left at this point. So I had just killed somebody in some room, right? And I was trying to get away because I knew if I was by the area, it would probably be me because I think I was already sus at this point. So, like, the meeting is called, and I'm, like, in the hallway outside, like, upper engine, I think. So somebody asked me where I am. I say, I am in upper engine. Like, that's a lie because I'm on, like, the map or whatever. Because I did lie about that. But, like, I was just outside of it. So, I mean, I guess it's fair. But I was like, okay, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
That's weird. I know one time I was the imposter twice in a row. And for some reason, they somehow found that it was me even though I showed no evidence. I didn't really kill anyone. For some reason, they somehow knew it was me. And they're like, how did you find out? I didn't do anything sus. And they're like, oh, I have 99999 IQ. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. I'm like, I'm pretty convinced that they were cheating or something like that. I'm not sure.
At least they didn't call you out for the way that you were walking around. Just my walking movements were sus.
What? That is weird. It's also weird.
I don't know, because, I mean, the only thing that could have been weird about it is I just walked with the map open, so maybe I just kind of look weird doing it, but I don't know.
One thing I hate is when people sus you because of when you stay still and then right after that there's a sabotage, because literally that can happen to anyone. Even a crewmate can stay still and a sabotage can go off. It just doesn't feel like enough evidence to prove that it's
I think in lobby games though, because there's not a lot of time, if there's any minor leak, you might as well just go off of it.
Also, I hate it when voting times aren't that long, and when there aren't as much cast if there are only like 3 tasks or something. I do remember one time there wasn't enough tasks, so the host, who was kind of annoying by the way, since she was always AFK, so she wasn't there to like vote in time. Since there wasn't enough tasks, she pretty much took it to maximum and added like 100-ish tasks. Well, not 100, but you get what I mean. A lot of tasks.
Yeah.
It's so annoying when people are AFK or just not vote when there's a lot of time to vote. I'm like, just vote already. Especially when Blue got called out and he decided to just be an idiot and just wait until the time runs out to get ejected.
Yeah, people are just too salty with the game sometimes.
And especially kids who cheat as well. I mean, what's the point of cheating in a game where you don't earn any rewards other than just, woo, victory, or, yeah, defeat?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess, they're kids and they just want to win badly.
Well, I think with Among Us in general, the whole thing is that, like, if you call out imposters, you feel like you're, like, a fucking genius or something, but it's with cheating, because if you're cheating, then there's really no way that you're just being smart, you're cheating, so.
I really like when cheaters get called out, they either get voted out, even if they're not the imposter, or get kicked from a game by the host. That's the best part.
Yeah, we all just hate the cheaters, so.
Yes, even no matter how right they are. It really ruins the game. Like, I just want to solve the mystery by myself without cheaters,
To say that, when you first brought up the topic, for some reason, when you said Among Us, it sounded like manga, and I was like, oh, yeah. This is an interesting topic.
It really does.
Yeah, I was like, I'm ready to talk about manga, because I think the sentence you first said was like, I've been getting more into Among Us recently. I was like, you've been getting into manga? That's weird. No,
I don't read manga.
Don't say manga, that causes me pain.
Okay, manga.
God.
I actually think it was pronounced manja.
I know you did. I was there, probably.
I think I said in the podcast once with Alicia. And I don't think that you were surprised.
No, because I know, like, you weren't into that kind of thing. But
yeah.
Speaking of manga, I did finish an anime the other day. I think I told you about this. But
yeah.
It was Tokyo Ghoul. It was really good.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you should watch it.
I'm not an anime fan or a manga fan.
Well, if I said watch it, it would have to be anime. Cause
Yeah,
manga's
duh, I
anime.
know. I know the difference. I'm not dumb like you.
Well, you also pronounced it manja.
I was just joking. Oh my god.
This time, but
Oh my Satan.
at some point, don't say "oh my Satan."
Why not? Inobi says it. I mean, well,
Inobi is not a good role model.
yeah, I know. I love how we basically normalized saying Inobi instead of Ebony.
Ebony. I mean, I think she probably said Inobi more than Ebony. Probably.
That is so. Yeah, that's honestly very true.
Yeah, so we're just being consistent.
Your
unlike her.
Alzheimer's is dangerous. Voldemort gave. Yeah, that's why the Ministry was against Dumbledore and Crimes of Grindelwald, because his Alzheimer's was dangerous. Well, he wasn't an old man at the time. He just had a headache because he broke up with Grindelwald.
And we all know Dumbledore's a libertarian, and we also need to privatize the education system.
Yes. Grindelwald was wearing... Grindelwald was wearing this gothic metal stuff, a black 666 t-shirt, blah blah blah. Vinda was wearing a sexy thingy of blah 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 blah. Credence was wearing this and this and this. I don't feel like describing all this clothing. Okay, since Ashley is gone, let's talk about how she likes...
I think, we should draw more attention to the Harry Potter is a communist fanfiction that you're gonna upload at some point.
Yeah.
And it's really good so far.
Even though it has almost 200 chapters.
Yeah, but they're really short. We can get through it. Like, I'm not even sure if we read for an hour the other day, and we did like 7 or something.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is also, can I just point out that, okay, so you know how a few days ago they announced like a bunch of Marvel projects that will be released?
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is there like way too much announcements?
I mean, I guess so, because like not a good comparison, but like a comparison is like DC, because you know they're similar companies, but DC doesn't have always that much going on, but then in Marvel it's just God. Yeah, it's just years in advance you know something's coming.
Yeah, it's really insane. Well, I know it's weird, even with a bunch of Marvel movies, and not to mention a whole lot more, twice as much on the way, I seem to enjoy DC more than Marvel, even if there's not much content. But I mean, the movies, but even so, I really enjoy the content. I don't know.
DC might put maybe more thought into it, I suppose.
It has good potential. It's just, it was just handled by the wrong people.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think something that the MCU kind of has a problem with is I think a lot of the appeal is just, a lot of these cool characters are in like the same movie doing stuff. You should watch the movie. Like, that has to have been part of the appeal for like Infinity War and Endgame. It's just, everyone's here. Thanos is the bad guy. Let's go fight this one bad guy.
And even while it's build up, even though he's pretty cool, it was still weird. Like, his motivation was to wipe out half the universe, but it was because of overpopulation. So in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and DC has their own Thanos. His name is Darkseid, which I heard he's a whole lot more cooler than Thanos. Like, I heard he can take over. Sure. I heard he can take over thousands of worlds, which is so cool. And I believe universes as well. And what's pretty weird is that, I love Marvel. I think Marvel and DC are good in their own way. It's just that since there's, like, so much, I can't really keep up with Marvel anymore. Like, you have to watch everything. You have to watch this one movie, all these movies, in order to understand what's gonna go on in the next movie or TV series. And
yeah, that's true.
I love to watch the TV series, but they're all on Disney Plus, and I don't have Disney Plus. And I believe there's only a 7-day free trial. I'm not sure.
Like, when you mentioned that there's, like, a lot to watch, I felt that a lot, because I've never gotten into things because, like, they're too long. Like, Supernatural, I think it finally ended with, like, 15 seasons, and I've never watched, like, I watched some of Supernatural, but that's because, like, I would come downstairs and my dad would be watching it. But overall, like, could never get into that series just because it's so goddamn long. So that's why I can't get into Marvels, because there's like 30 like fucking movies or some shit, and then now there's TV shows and everything.
Yeah, there's like 23 movies as of now. 24 when Black Widow comes out, and now there's like 20-ish announced projects on the way, both movies and shows.
Widow has haunted me because I was doing that event for the museum for Black Widow, and because of COVID, the event and the movie was pushed back. And I'm actually done with the museum now. I think I told you that, but just wild. So I spent so long in that event.
Also, I'm not really that interested in the Black Widow movie anymore. Probably it's not just because the character is now dead. I think it's because I think itself is not interesting. It feels like just gonna be some kind of spy movie.
Like, I feel like superheroes should have, like, their origin movie before, like, the big, like, movie that they, like, come in and do shit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, Spider-Man didn't have his own movie before then. Hawkeye didn't have his own movie before then.
So then now it feels like backtracking because
neither did Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
I mean,
like backtracking.
Not every superhero has to have their own solo movie. Like, I guess that's like everyone's complaining about DC because Batman didn't have his own solo movie before then. Neither did many other heroes like Flash, Cyborg. I mean, we already know. I mean, his origin story has already been established and everything. So will the other heroes in Justice League. And I guess I understand that, but even with that, I think it still worked out perfectly fine. I mean, Zack Snyder, he was originally planning to make a 5-movie arc, not a cinematic universe, and eventually turned into a cinematic universe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And people...
Are you excited?
Huh? Am I excited? Yes, I definitely am.
Me too.
Not just Wonder Woman 84, but Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's like a whole lot more to be explored in that movie than what we got in the theaters, which is insane.
Yep.
What annoys me is all the hate that Zack Snyder gets for his Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman movies. People complain because of how different they are, and they also for some reason they also complain about how there's not enough humor and how the color palette for the movies isn't bright or something. And I think they're mad because Superman is not wearing his outer underwear like he usually does, which is weird. I mean,
there's always people that are gonna nitpick, I suppose.
Yeah, they're mad because
too much
it's
gritty lighting. That might be a genuine complaint. Like if they just can't see shit because it's so dark. But I think that's different than just the color palette itself.
I mean, have they not seen Harry Potter, the last movie?
Oh my god, yeah, that was bad at points. You could barely see it.
I mean, just turn up the brightness on your phone or something. I mean, his movies, especially Batman vs Superman, it is actually supposed to be serious. I mean, Man of Steel, it's about a guy who finds out he's from another planet, and he tries to find out who he is. He pretty much struggles with being an alien, but also with being human, even though he's really powerful. A lot of people. So Batman vs Superman is basically shows a realistic portrayal on how world governments would react if a super powerful guy like Superman existed. He's a very controversial figure. Not everyone likes him, and that's what Superman struggles with. Even though he's really powerful, he still struggles with like being human. Like they see him as a god, but he feels like human. If you get what I mean. Which I think is super interesting about DC. Even though they're really powerful, they still struggle with being different. But yeah, it's really interesting. And what was really annoying, okay, so it's okay if you don't like Zack Snyder because Zack Snyder's movies, which we all have different opinions, right? But there are people who just really, really hate him so badly. It's just really weird. Like, they always talk like he's the worst person in the world, even though people that worked with him has said that he was a really good guy. And even goes so far as to mocking his daughter's suicide.
God.
Yeah, even bloggers, verified checkmarks on Twitter, they always bash him so badly. He didn't do anything wrong. He's a really nice guy. It just no. How low can you get? Jesus.
I think we're getting near the end of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Yeah. Did you?
Yes. Even if we paused at some points. Awkward silence.
But not. You could listen to the song I sent you. It's pretty good.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I'll see you guys later. See you.
Bye.